Hey, welcome. It's another day of Bhagavad Gita Sadhana. We're like 309 days in, and I gotta admit, sometimes I come here, and even a couple minutes before I'm set to talk with you, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I notice how I feel. And then I notice how I feel. I know what I'm going to talk about. And that's what we're focusing on today with our theme of Samatvam, which is being able to be yourself no matter what life throws at you, which is really a true skill. I know so few people who can do this, and I'm not one of them yet. Maybe you are. Well, Arjun certainly isn't one of those yet, but he's in the company of Krishna, who has mastered the art of being himself no matter what life throws at him. And life has thrown him some real curveballs: the imprisonment of his parents, being adopted in a small rural village, finding out he's a prince, being a prince, finding out his two cousins are going to hurt each other in a massive civil war, and on and on and on. And he's himself. So we are moving out of chapter 12, which marks the end of the Bhakti Yoga section of the Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti Yoga section is about managing your emotional energy. The first section, chapters 1 through 6, is about managing what you do in life. Second section, managing your emotional connections. And this one is managing your mind, which is briefly hinted at in chapter 6, way back there, because the mind directs your actions. But this is a really deep dive into what you do with your mind, and not just the lower survival mind, but how do you tap into your intuitive and higher mind. So here we are at the start of chapter 13. The yoga of the distinction between the field and the knower of the field. And if you can't tell by the title, this last section is quite heady. And we're just going to start. You don't even have to get your books out, although you can if you want. I'm going to be in, it doesn't matter which book you have either. I'm going to be at the beginning of chapter 13, verse 1. And Arjuna is speaking. Ready? Don't blink or you'll miss it. Arjun says, I wish to know. And then he goes on, but we're going to stop right there. Because as I looked at that, I found, wow, that's an encapsulation of my condition and perhaps the human condition in general. We are a curious species. We want to know. That's why we make up stories about how the world came to be. Are they going to be what we now call myth-based? Or it's going to be science-based? Or is it going to be magic-based? Or is it going to, what? Depends on the era into which we are born. But we're always trying to find out why. And why do we do that? Because, well, Arjun is thinking he'll feel better about life, about the world, and about himself if he knows. And one of the things we're discovering here is it's not always that possible to know. And quite frankly, Krishna is going to, answer all his questions. But does that really help Arjun? Maybe. We'll find out. But I'd like you to think about why you might need to know something. For example, I was just running around like a, as we would say in the Midwest, chicken with my head cut off. Because it's fall. Look at it. The trees have all turned. It's amazing how quickly they'll turn in just a day or two. And around this time of year, everybody wants to know. My neighbor is texting me. My neighbor who never texts me is texting me about this. When does the leaf vacuum come? If you're not familiar, we have so many leaves. It's flipping impossible to bag them up. And if we all burn the leaves, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine what that would be like. So every fall, for a period of a couple months, a leaf vacuum owned by the city drives up and down the street and vacuums up our leaves and takes them to who knows where and does who knows what. I mean, I've seen some things they do with them, but I really don't know where they ultimately end up. All I know is they go away. And as the fall goes on, the time between when the leaf vacuum will come, gets longer and longer because people's trees dump more and more leaves. Well, it is supposed to rain very soon. And I think I hear the leaf vacuum. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, right after this, if I rake all my leaves then before the rain, and it just thrills me because it doesn't look it back here, but out front, our maple has dropped so many leaves and just more to come. If you wait, it's ridiculous. So I'm running around going, is the leaf vacuum coming? Is the leaf vacuum not coming? And it's really affecting me. I'm going to be a different person, I feel like, whether I know the leaf vacuum is coming or not. And this might seem silly, but don't we do this in life? I once, in meditation, had a future event revealed to me. Actually, I've had this happen a couple of times. This was a pretty big one, but I've had some minor ones too. And I have found that knowing what's coming for me doesn't make a difference. Like you would think this one event I know about would make me feel like, oh, I can relax and stop worrying. Well, no, because how exactly is this event going to happen and what's going to lead up to it? So knowing, in my case, is not helping. In fact, all the little revelations I've had, and this is what I guess they say, don't rely on any special, I don't want to call them a power, but anything special you gain through yoga, don't rely on it because ultimately it doesn't help. So no matter what these revelations, it hasn't helped. So I'm fascinated now. This thought that whether I know something or I don't know something, I'm just going to be me. This is perhaps an illusion we tell ourselves. If we know something, life is going to be better. And you know, I'd like you to reflect on that. Just if we can just be ourselves. Sometimes knowing gets in the way of us being ourselves, even more than not knowing. And this is what chapter 13 is kind of about. Knowing, I want to know. Well, what difference is it going to make, Arjun, says Krishna. So today I'm dedicating my practice to Gisele and everybody who wants to know. Okay, I'm going to go do my practice. I'm not feeling so good today. And one of the things I'm doing is, why am I not feeling good today? I can't figure it out. So I'm just going to go about the practice and be myself, my goofy self. Pose time. Switch sides. All right. 5 minutes to contemplate. Maybe you can spend that time thinking about something you really want to know. And then if you knew it, what would happen? Would it change your whole existence? Hmm.
All righty. Welcome back. I wonder if this is why our culture likes mystery and sporting events so much, detective shows, because there's a mystery and it's going to get solved in a finite time, and then you're going to know for sure. Oh man, I was trying to end quick because there's something outside my house. And I want to know what it is. And now I've missed it. It's moved on. Huh. Well, now I won't know. How do I feel about that? We'll find out tomorrow, perhaps. Hope to see you. Until then.